into the unknown on radio.
I'm Daniel Dudley, and I am from Wellsburg, West Virginia. My parents just love entertainment. My mom sang in the church all the time. There was music always playing. There were movies always playing. But I wasn't into, like, the playhouse thing. Like, I didn't want to be an actor. But I always knew that I wanted to be on TV. I just didn't know how I was going to get there or how I was going to get on the radio. I had no idea. Saying that you want to be a TV host or saying you want to be a radio host or whatever, like, to your guidance counselor in high school was hilarious to me. Because they were just like, that's not really a career, so you should think about doing this. Like, what about sales? What about marketing? And I'm like, I don't want to sell stuff. Like, I want to be on TV. My mom wasn't about laziness, so she was just like, if this is what you want to do it. If my mom happened to know somebody who knew somebody and we would be at a wedding and it would be very embarrassing, and she would be like, and she would throw me in front of this person who had worked doing this at one point. I had very good parents who were all about me just, like, you know, doing what I said I wanted to do. Honestly, I was, like, afraid to leave home, and I don't regret it one bit. Like, I loved my education at WVU. I loved everything that I learned covering stories in, you know, the Morgantown area and, you know, my stories at home too. I had to be a self-starter. I didn't have an editor. Even when I got my first job doing radio, like, I'm driving there with all my equipment and I'm setting it all up. You know, you're doing all that. And then, you know, I'm editing my own interviews. I'm going to the press conferences, doing that, editing it myself. I mean, I do a lot of the same stuff here. Here at Radio Disney, I host a variety of different shows. I do interviews. I do a lot of content for social media and different things like that. We do a bunch of stuff here. Like, being a radio host now is so different because, like, you are not just standing in front of a mic, you know, telling people what song to play. You are just controlling everything. I was in Pittsburgh doing a bunch of different things and hosting for Trib Live Radio and doing play-by-play for arena football for the Power, and then, you know, I got a phone call one day saying that they were interested in doing something with sports and music, and they thought I could work for that. But seeing these celebrities that you're so far away from is kind of crazy sometimes, but then you get to hear their stories, like hearing from like a DJ like Diplo and how much he puts into work. Talking to Macklemore or John Cena or Kobe Bryant even, like talking to so many different people, and, you know, you're starstruck at first, but then you're like, oh, this person has something to say. And it's cool being around them, and it's like humanizing them. That's what I think is like the best part. Whether you're on a red carpet talking to celebrities, or you're in the studio, or you're on the phone talking to someone. It's really cool, like, just getting their story out there. And so many people are from small towns. Not everybody grew up in Los Angeles and were just created into a celebrity. Oh, the youth are like the most important people. Like, they are the ones that are running this place. They are the ones that control everything that is cool. So, like, when you look at the Billboard charts, when you look at what people were wearing, when you look at commercials, you look at anything, it's the younger people that control all that stuff. They have all this just energy where it's like the whole world is open to them. Nothing is closed off to them. And, like, I find that to just be fascinating. And that's one thing I love about working here, is because we're like, you know, once the main radio stations start playing a song, like, we've already been playing it for months. You know, like the whole Lil Nas X Old Town Road, like, we were one of the first people to play that song. You're not going to get to this point in 2 seconds. You're gonna be doing radio, and you're gonna learn that you love it, because that's one thing about the arts in general, is like, if you don't love it, you'll find out really quick. And, you know, these jobs, they don't make that much money at the beginning and stuff. So, like, you're just trying to make it happen. Find somebody who can help you get there. Because it's so easy to do that now, because, like, you can hit them up on Instagram, on Facebook, and just ask them questions. Like, anybody who asks me questions, like, I answer them. I love West Virginia. I love the food of West Virginia. I love pepperoni rolls, which you can't get here. And I love the people, and I just love it's like, it gives you a big hug when you go back to West Virginia, you know, and you feel it's home. It's where I grew up. It's where there's no me without that place. I think the West Virginia stereotype is just silly. But I think every state has kind of a stereotype. I don't know why West Virginia's just like sticks there. If I meet the stereotype, maybe I do. If I do, I'm proud of it. I know my accent goes in and out every once in a while, and you always get I have cousins in Richmond. I'm like, what? Like, we're a state, But I do get questions like, is everybody a hillbilly? Is everybody a redneck? Is everybody this? And I'm like, no, that's not how it is, Like, every state has their issues. West Virginia just constantly gets highlighted, and it's annoying at times. Like, you have to go find this stuff. Like, you have to do work, but if you do work, you can do anything. You can do everything that you want to do growing up in West Virginia, and you can also make it better. I just want to show people that you can do whatever you want, You're not stuck doing this one thing in West Virginia, or just because you're from West Virginia,